Hi, and welcome back to Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. Today we're going to be making Kalakand. This Indian sweet is typically made with just two ingredients, milk and sugar, and is enjoyed during the festive season. I'm going to be sharing with you my way of making the most delicious and easy Kalakand right at home. So let's get started. To start, let's prep the container in which we're going to set the Kalakand. So I've got a 6 by 9 inch baking tray, which has about 1 inch depth. I'm going to apply a little ghee to the base and the sides of it. This is actually just acting like a glue because we're going to put some parchment paper down before we put the Kalakand in it when it's ready. So I've cut 2 sheets of parchment paper and I'm going to put one down this way, a little bit more of the ghee down on this sheet so that it holds the other paper down as well. And now we place the other sheet this way. Now that the tray is well lined, let's keep it aside and crush up the cardamom because I always like to use freshly ground cardamom when making the sweet. We're going to be adding about half a teaspoon of cardamom powder. So for that I've taken 6 green cardamom pods. And we're first going to take out the seeds before we put it into our mortar pestle. Just going to smash that down and empty the seeds in here. This gives so much of flavor to the Kalakand, and especially when you're using the fresh cardamoms, the flavor is even more. Now, if you don't have the fresh cardamoms available at home, you could go in with the powder, ready-made powder as well. And now we're just going to smash that down and roll it around. And once you're happy with how fine it has come, then you can keep it aside and we'll add it in when we need to. Now to make the process quick and easy and to get that desired texture of Kalakand, we're going to go in with paneer. And I'm using 375 grams of paneer here. And we're going to first cut it down into half. And we're going to take our grater and on a medium grate, we're going to start grating it. The fun fact about Kalakand, how it came to be, is because the milk had got spoiled, and since they did not want to throw the milk out, they added sugar to it and kept cooking it till it thickened, and then it became Kalakand, which is the most delicious sweet. And now let's transfer this straight into the pot in which we're going to be cooking the Kalakand. Just going to lift it up and put it right in there. And now let's grate the second half. To the grated paneer, we're going to be adding 1 liter of full fat milk. We're just going to pour it in. And now let's give that a stir before we go over to the stove and start cooking it up. Come, let's go. Now on a medium-high heat, we're going to start cooking the Kalakand. And you'll see after about 5 minutes, it'll start thickening. You've got to keep stirring it continuously to make sure that the milk does not stick to the bottom of the pot. And occasionally just scrape down the sides of the pot as well. Now it's been about 5 minutes and you'll notice that the milk has started thickening. Now here's a little tip. You'll notice that I'm using a ladle with a long handle to cook this. And that's because towards the end, when the Kalakand is almost ready, it starts splashing a little bit, so it's better to keep your hand away from the pot. Now you'll see that it has thickened up even more, and that's because the paneer has started absorbing all the moisture from the milk and it's getting nice and hydrated, and that's the reason why we like to cook the paneer in the milk for a long time. Now we're going to continue cooking it till it thickens a little bit more before we add in the sugar. Now it's been about 20 minutes since we put it on the stove and we've been stirring it, and you can see how well it has thickened. So now we are going to be adding in 1 cup of sugar, which is about 200 grams. And I'm going to add in half first and give that a stir. And once the sugar has melted, I'll add in the remaining. And you'll find that when you add in the sugar, because the sugar melts, it'll get a little thin once again. Now we're going to add in the remaining sugar. And at this time itself, I'm going to add in a pinch of salt because salt always brings out all the flavors And now let's keep cooking this for another 15 minutes or so, and you'll find that it thickens even more. Now it's been about 15 minutes since we added the sugar, and you'll find that the mixture has thickened once again, and also we have that lovely texture. Just look at that. So now we're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of pure ghee, and this is going to add a lot of flavor. At the same time, it's going to help to bind the Kalakand when we keep it to set. And we're going to add the cardamom powder that we had ground earlier. And now let's mix that and continue cooking it for another 5 to 10 minutes until we do not see any streaks of milk in the mixture. And now that we do not see any streaks of milk, but at the same time we've not dried it up too much, we're going to take it off the heat and transfer it to our prepared tray. Now we're going to take it and put it into our prepared tin. And look at that. How delicious that is looking. This is going to give us the best homemade Kalakand. It's going to be nice and soft and moist with all the texture. Now this is a part that you want to work fast. Trying to get a flat surface here and evening it out at the same time. And once you have a nice smooth surface and it has covered the entire pan, you're going to keep it aside to cool till it comes to room temperature. Now that it has cooled down, we're going to add a little bit of the Vark on it, and I've just taken 1 sheet and we're going to start placing it around. First going to take this little piece that's already come off and put it down, and then just spread it around. You could put a whole sheet down if you wanted, but I prefer just putting little pieces around. And I cut about 2 almonds into fine slivers, and just going to garnish the top with that. And I slivered about 4 to 5 pistachios, and we're going to put those on the top as well. Just see how it makes it look so beautiful. Now I'm taking the paper that I've taken the silver leaf from, and I'm just going to press it down a little bit so that it all sticks to the Kalakand. If you didn't save this paper, you could always use a parchment paper to do this. I'm just going to put a parchment paper on the top and cover it up on all sides so that when we put the plastic wrap, it does not pull out any of the garnish that we have put on the top. And I've got a plastic wrap here. I'm just going to put it down and cover it up properly. And now we're going to place this into the refrigerator for 2 hours so that it gets a chance to set. So all of you who have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead, press that subscribe button, and while you're at it, if you hit the bell icon, you'll be the first to get notified every time I upload a new video. And now for the moment of truth. It's been about 2 hours in the refrigerator, so now we're going to open it up and take a look at the Kalakand. Wow, just take a look at that. So we're just going to pull this up a little bit and ease it out. Then we're going to turn it around and pull up these 2 sides. And now what we're going to do is to pull the sides up, put the tray aside, and there you go. So easy to take it out. And now we're going to use our sharp knife and cut down the center. Now you could cut these pieces as big or small as you wanted. I'm just going in for medium-sized pieces. And since this is to be enjoyed at home, I'm not going to straighten out the edges. But if you're going to gift it to somebody, I would recommend straightening the edges. Just going to clean out that knife and continue cutting the other side. Now we're going to turn this around, and now we're going to cut down the center. And now we're going to go down and cut this into half. Oh my goodness, look at that. Just look at that texture inside, and you can tell how soft it is. And now let's garnish that with a few rose petals on the top. Happy Diwali! And now it's my happy time. It's time to taste the Kalakand. Oh wow! I'm so excited. Just look at that. It looks so perfect and how soft it is. And look at that texture. Wow. Wow, this Kalakand is absolutely delicious. It has just the right amount of sweetness. It just melts in your mouth and the texture is spot on. Now you've got to stop buying Kalakand from the stores and start making it at home. And for the full written recipe, hop onto my website, platingitwithwendy.com, or you can hit on the link in the description box below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.